start.
Well, my dear friends, today I am going to deal with the use of irony in Khaled Hosseini's famous novel, The Kite Runner. As you have already known, Kamal has already supplied you with a working definition of irony as a literary device and a stylistic device. So, my discussion today will be based on that definition that Kamal has already provided you with, as per my instructions. Now, I am not here to give you a list of ironies or ironic incidents or ironic speeches or utterances. That is for you to do, because I have already provided you with good quality materials on this. So what then is the objective of this lecture? The objective of this lecture is to make you understand the nitty-gritties of irony and why it is used in a literary text like The Kite Runner by a conscious literary artist like Khaled Hosseini. You see, as you have already understood from the definition and your acquaintance with irony in other literary texts you have already read, you know, ironies are of quite a number of kinds. You know, there is verbal irony, there is situational irony, and so on and so forth. You know, sometimes something is meant and something else is said, you know, that results in verbal irony. Sometimes something is meant when an action is undertaken and something else turns out. It becomes an ironic situation, a situational irony, you know. Sometimes it so happens that we, the readers or the audience of a play, readers of a written text like a novel, a short story, or so on and so forth, and also a play. You know, the reader or the audience knows certain things of which the characters are unaware. That also leads to irony. Now, in a way, irony is a literary and a stylistic device at the hands of the artist that not only enriches the text with added interest, but also adds to the appeal and immediacy of the text. Now you see, you think about the text, The Kite Runner, from the very beginning, you think about the title, Kite Runner. Who is the original kite runner? It is Hassan. For whom does he run? Obviously for Amir. And at the end, who is the kite runner? It is Amir. For whom does he run? For Hassan's biological son, Shohrab. So the roles are reversed. The positions are reversed. Not only the roles, but also the position. Because at one time, it was Hassan who was serving Amir. Now it is Amir who is virtually serving Hassan in absentia through Hassan's son, that is Shohrab. Similarly, think about Baba's teachings. Baba had taken Amir on his lap. He was a huge man, very healthy, very strong. Someone who could be nicknamed Tufanaga, Hurricane. So, Baba says to Amir, there is only one thing. If you steal or if you tell a lie. So there is an apparent high-minded Afghan patriarch passing on gem of a wisecrack to his son. But what happens? Ultimately, it turns out to be ironic because Baba has stolen his best friend Ali's wife. He has also deceived not only Ali but also Amir and Hassan, denying them their right to truth through his lies. And you just think about the way Amir replicates his father. He also steals and lies. By framing Hassan for the imaginary theft which the latter had never committed, even not thought of, he is telling a lie. He is stealing his best friend's right to truth. He is not giving Hassan what he deserves. Similarly, think about it. There is a physical doubling. You remember, Hassan was born with a cleft lip, a hair lip. And at the fag end of the novel, after the beating that he receives from Asif, there is also a scar on the lips of Amir. So he also has a hair lip, and just as Hassan had required surgery, Amir long afterwards also requires surgery. Okay. Think about the first story written by Amir. It was a magic cup to which when the happy man could weep. Now, happy man, initially was happy. But when he could weep, when he wept into that cup, his tears were turned into pearls. And he became rich. And he slew his near and dear ones and became rich. Now, when he told this story to Hassan, Hassan's very prompt answer was, but could not that man smell onions? He could have wept without killing anyone. You see, even though Amir is supposed to be the happy one, the lucky one, because he is a born Pashtun, he is the legitimate son of a very rich Afghan man. He is educated. He is exposed to Western and ennobling influences. But he is unhappy with his lot. On the contrary, in spite of his poverty, his marginalized position as an apparently Hazara servant and a servant's son, Hassan is still very happy. Even after the rape, remember, even after the rape, Hassan is more comfortable with himself than is Amir with himself, or even with Hassan. Because, Amir has committed an act of cowardice. which has given him a sense of guilt. And this sense of guilt has made his life more miserable. As a result, he is trying to blot out even the existence and the memory of Hassan. So, by planting the apparently stolen money into the luggage of Hassan, by framing Hassan for the theft that he has never dreamt of, let alone committing, Amir is actually trying to get rid of Hassan by hook or by crook. Ultimately, however, it is to save Hassan's child that he comes halfway across the world in search of Shohrab. Similarly, we will see that whereas Amir is educated, Amir has been exposed to books and bounty. Hassan is more witty. Hassan is better at reading. Hassan is better at reading people. Hassan is better at solving riddles. And Hassan is more witty. Isn't this irony in itself? Think about Baba and Rahim Khan, lifelong friends and partners in a business. They actually die of the same disease, cancer. Broken men, distraught with grief, and yet carrying the secret in the case of Baba and revealing the secret in case of Rahim Khan. Similarly, think about it. Hassan's surgery, lip surgery by Dr. Lal was a birthday present from Baba. It was in order to enable Hassan to smile and laugh. But surprise, surprise, just one winter afterwards, with the Kite tournament, Hassan will stop smiling in a very ironic manner. You think about it, the greatest glory in the young Amir's life is his win in the kite flying competition. But it is also that hour that robs him of peace and tranquility, even sleep. Even Asif's role is very ironic. Asif had raped Amir's friend and servant Hassan. And Amir was not courageous enough to stand up to him, even though once Hassan had stood up for him with his slingshot. Ultimately, however, Amir stands up to Asif. He is soundly beaten, thrashed, but regains his manhood and his self-respect by fighting for someone and fighting against someone for the first time. We'll see that Hassan's condition is also very ironic. The person who rapes him, he has to serve during Amir's birthday. It's very ironic. Okay. Similarly, it is also ironic that once Hassan had stood up for Amir and pretend to blind Asif with his slingshot. Ultimately, it is Hassan's son, Shorab, for whom Amir is fighting Asif. It is Shorab who actually blinds, not only threatening, actually blinding. He blinds Asif. With what? With a brass ball taken from Asif's own office table. As if Shorab is defeating the evil designs of Asif at his own coin. So, what I really want you to understand is there are other ironies, ironic situations, ironic speeches, and so on and so forth. But what I really want you to understand is you have to read the text to understand these things. I hope this discussion will help you in understanding the significance of irony, not only its use, but significance and role of irony in furthering the narrative designs of the author Khaled Hosseini. So this much for the time being. In my last audio, unless you have other queries, I will actually talk about the racial tension in the Kite runners. Thank you for listening.